What if the most terrifying thing about UFOs isn't that aliens might be visiting Earth? What if the real mystery is that some objects have been recorded by trained military personnel, tracked by sophisticated sensors, and still remain unidentified? No little green men, no Hollywood spaceship, no blurry photograph from someone's backyard. I'm talking about incidents involving military aircraft, radar systems, infrared cameras, and objects that sometimes appear to move in ways we still struggle to explain. And here's where the story gets interesting. The United States government no longer treats every UFO report as a joke. The terminology changed. UFO became UAP, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. And that change matters, because unidentified doesn't mean alien. It means something was observed, and we still don't know exactly what it was. That distinction is where the real mystery begins. For decades, strange objects in the sky were pushed into three categories: secret military technology, natural phenomena, or human error. And honestly, many sightings probably were exactly that. A strange light could be a satellite. A fast-moving object could be an aircraft viewed from an unusual angle. A bizarre infrared image could be caused by the camera system itself. But then there are cases that refuse to fit neatly into those explanations. Pilots have described objects with no obvious wings, no visible exhaust, and movement that appeared unusual from their perspective. Sensors have captured objects that seem to accelerate, change direction, or disappear from view. And investigators are left with the same uncomfortable conclusion: we don't have enough information. But that raises a much bigger question. If these objects are not extraterrestrial, then what are they? Because there are several possibilities. The first is the least exciting, and perhaps the most likely. Some UAP sightings could be classified military technology. Think about it. If a government develops an aircraft, drone, sensor system, or propulsion technology that it doesn't want foreign governments to know about, secrecy is the entire point. An object that looks impossible to the public might simply be technology that isn't supposed to be public yet. And history gives us plenty of examples. Aircraft that once looked unbelievable eventually became ordinary. Stealth technology was once considered almost science fiction. High-altitude reconnaissance aircraft created UFO reports decades before the public understood what they were seeing. But there's another possibility. Foreign technology, advanced drones, experimental surveillance platforms, or systems developed by another country that are being tested in places where nobody is supposed to notice them. And then there is possibility number 3, something genuinely unknown. Not necessarily aliens, not necessarily extraterrestrials, simply something our current evidence cannot identify. And this is where the story becomes far more fascinating than the typical "aliens are here" headline. Because science is built around uncertainty. Scientists don't have to say, "We know what this is," every time they encounter something strange. Sometimes the scientifically honest answer is, "We don't know yet." But the internet hates that answer. We want a name, we want an explanation, we want someone to blame, and most importantly, we want a story. That is why every mysterious object becomes a battlefield between two extremes. One side says, it's obviously aliens. The other says, it's obviously nothing. But both positions can be wrong. The evidence may simply be incomplete. And that leads to one of the most important questions in the entire UFO debate. How much are we actually seeing? Imagine flying a fighter jet at hundreds of miles per hour. You're looking through a helmet-mounted display. Your aircraft is moving, the object is moving, the camera is moving, the atmosphere is distorting distance. And the sensor you're using has its own limitations. Now imagine trying to determine the object's true speed, size, altitude, and direction from a short video clip. Suddenly, that mysterious 12-second recording becomes much harder to interpret. This is why a video alone isn't enough. A truly convincing case would require multiple independent sensors, reliable timestamps, radar information, eyewitness testimony, atmospheric data, and enough information for outside investigators to reproduce the analysis. And that's exactly what makes the strongest UAP cases so interesting. Not because they prove aliens, but because they force us to ask better questions. What did the pilot actually see? What did the sensor actually record? Was the object moving unusually? Or was the camera moving? Was it technology? Was it an atmospheric phenomenon? Was it a misidentified aircraft? Was it a drone? Or is there something else we haven't identified yet? Now here's the part most UFO videos don't tell you. Even if extraterrestrial life exists, that does not mean every unexplained object is an alien spacecraft. The universe is unimaginably enormous. There are billions of stars in our galaxy alone, and scientists have confirmed thousands of planets beyond our solar system. So the possibility of life elsewhere in the universe is a legitimate scientific question. But possibility is not proof, and that distinction is everything. We don't need fake evidence to make this mystery fascinating. We don't need conspiracy theories. We don't need a secret alien base. We already have something much more interesting. A collection of real observations that, in some cases, remain unresolved. And perhaps the biggest mistake humanity could make is choosing an answer before we have enough evidence. Because if one day we discover that these objects are advanced human technology, that changes our understanding of national security. If we discover their natural phenomena, that changes our understanding of our atmosphere and our planet. If we discover there's something completely new, that changes science itself. And if one day we find undeniable evidence that another civilization exists, that wouldn't just change one government, it would change humanity. But until that day, there is one rule worth remembering. An unidentified object is not automatically an alien object. The mystery is real. The explanation is not. So the next time you see a strange light in the sky, don't immediately ask, "Is that an alien?" Ask something more important. What evidence would prove what I'm looking at? Because sometimes the truth isn't hidden behind a conspiracy. Sometimes we simply haven't found it yet. If you want more real mysteries, unexplained discoveries, and stories where the evidence is stranger than the theories, subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, do you think UAPs are mostly secret human technology, natural phenomena, or something we haven't discovered yet?